Hey everybody, it's Ryan Freddie coming to you with peer support, some more peer support information. First things first, we've had a lot of intense calls over the district the last couple months. We've had a couple diffusings and a lot of people reaching out for clinicians. We've also had a lot of peer supports reaching out to guys around the district. Keep in mind that the follow-ups are kind of an initial contact with you guys. We give you some information, just see how things are going. But try and remember that sometimes these things build up. So even if those certain calls that get flagged that have us reach out to you, if you're feeling fine after that, that's great. But keep in mind that things sometimes build up over time, and keep an eye on each other. And we can continue to follow up if we need to and get you guys some help if that's what's needed. It's been a busy spring already, and we're already starting to get into summertime. So keep an eye on each other and reach out if you guys need any resources. All right, so some of the obvious things is it's summertime. We have new stations, new bids, new assignments, and new people we're trying to get to know how to work with or work for. A lot of this can increase the stress levels at the stations on top of all the other stress that's been building up over the past 2 years. So if you need some help with coping skills or need just help talking, reach out to peer support. We like going and getting a cup of coffee and just letting you guys vent a little bit. Sometimes that helps, and sometimes that's all you need. But keep in mind that some of these stresses, like the previous information I was talking about with the calls, all this stuff builds up over time. And so just kind of keep an eye on each other and be aware of some of those stresses in yourself. So on top of all the stresses that are kind of building up with summertime and heat and all that stuff, coming up with fire season, we just want to reinforce some of the coping skills. We've talked about these a little bit in the past, but I want to reinforce some good coping skills to help you guys kind of recharge when you're not at work. So some of the coping skills are to get a good solid night's sleep. Whatever you have to do to get a good night's sleep, work on those skills. Try and decrease your alcohol intake when you're on your off days. If you are going to drink, limit it and maybe drink a little bit earlier rather than later in the evening. And don't isolate. I think that's some of the things we're starting to see a little bit more of is when people are stressed out, they're going in their hole on their phone and they're not talking to anybody at work or at home. So if you do notice that with your coworkers, they're isolating a little bit and you don't want to approach them about that stuff, that's fine. You can reach out to a peer support member and we can make contact with them and just see how things are going. It's all confidential, but we want to make sure that some of this stuff doesn't build up over time and then have people say, oh yeah, I noticed things were changing over the last couple months. So good sleep, lower your alcohol intake, get a good diet, make sure you're working out a little bit, even on your days off, and don't isolate. Make sure you're still talking with crew members and people at home. And the last thing with peer support is, along with everything we've talked about, if you're not sure of how things are going, or if you think you might need some help, reach out. Or if somebody else needs help, reach out. There is a list of phone numbers on the desktop. There's also, FireStrong has a long list of peer support members. You don't even have to check with Metro Fire peer support. You can go to any department that has a peer support member identified on the FireStrong website. You can talk to anybody. Please reach out, ask for help. We've got a lot of resources available to you guys. It's going to be a long summer probably, and so let's start working on some coping skills early. That's it from peer support.